The subject of this podcast is going to be about bald people, two baldies sitting here, right?
सबसे बड़ा चैलेंजिंग स्टेज होता है ना कि तुम बॉल्डिंग तुम व्हेन यू गो द फुल बज उसके 6 महीने पहले तुम्हारा हाउ यू आर फीलिंग बिकॉज यू आर नॉट फीलिंग गुड बिकॉज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू आर ऑल्सो अफ्रेड कि ओके इफ आई buzz it off, whether I'm going to be able to carry the look or not, and then that's a permanent thing, right? Because once you go bald, like there is no, you cannot do anything much. There is no hairstyle for bald.
Yeah, there is no hairstyle.
Yeah, you can mature and say, initially you may not even accept your own baldness, and then eventually something happens and you suddenly feel like, oh, a lot of people are liking me more because I'm bald.
I've got Pravin with me, Pravin Dhake. He's the founder of Athlos, which is an active wear brand. And Pravin is one of the first few founders in this category in India. It's a funded startup and doing very, very well. Welcome, Pravin.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the most amazing thing about the brand is that, and I use it, by the way, and I met Pravin at the gym. और Pravin has got a very easy vibe to himself. बहुत chill out बंदा है. और वो चिल आउट जो उसकी वाइब है वो उसके प्रोडक्ट में भी दिखाई देती है एंड द वे द कंपनी इज मेड हैज़ बीन काइंड ऑफ मेड राइट. तो प्रवीण, यू नो, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थैंक यू, आई रियली अप्रिशिएट एंड आई रियली लुक फॉरवर्ड टू हैविंग फन with you on this podcast.
Absolutely.
The subject of this podcast is going to be about bald people, two baldies sitting here, right? तो प्रवीण, what I want to, पहला चीज़ जो मैंने डिस्कस करना चाहता हूँ ना, when did you first realize that you're balding?
Actually, देखो अभी genetically तो थोड़ा पता था. There is baldness runs on both my mom and dad's side. So growing up, you will know कि eventually वो आने वाला है. I don't know why. Like sometimes someone will just say, oh, you know what, दोनों side पे आएगा. So I think it was around like say when I was 28 or 29, that's when I felt कि okay, this looks like it's going towards the bald side.
होने ही वाला है.
हाँ. तो the hair were not thinning, but you kind of knew okay, it's on its track. So that's when you realize कि you're heading down that path. And and I think eventually, so I actually started not shaving off, like buzzing off my hair even before I went completely bald. So I don't know how much balding has happened because I started just preempted the doing.
Preempted, and there was a gradual kind of acceptance, I guess. And the process through which you probably काटने लगे और काटते ultimately I think something similar happened for me as well. But मैं share करता हूँ around 28 मुझे तो ऐसा पता था, one of the friends pushed me, वो बोले के गई कि नहीं दीपक तुम चलो, वहाँ चलते हैं एक one of the so called brands कि भाई तुम्हारे hair growth clinic so to say.
Okay.
इतनी महंगी दवाई, ये नहीं खाना वो नहीं खाना. अरे भाई, मैंने कहा ये 2-3 महीने किया, मैंने कहा भाई ऐसे तो नहीं चलेगा. एंड वहाँ से ना वो एक्सेप्टेंस शुरू हो गया ना, ठीक है यार, हु केयर्स, जाने दो. तो मैंने बाल छोटे छोटे करना शुरू कर दिया, राइट. बट द रीजन आई वांट टू आस्क इज कि जब ये बाल जा रहे थे, राइट, व्हाट वाज द फीलिंग? डिड यू फील एट लॉस कि डिड यू फील हेल्पलेस? कुछ फीलिंग आई थी ऐसी?
थोड़ी तो स्टार्ट में आई थी. आई मीन no one is immune to feeling insecurity. I mean, like, so start में तो आई थी, like you feel like it's a losing battle, and then you start trying to figure out कि how do you handle it. Actually मैं भी गया था. I think I tried like some hair treatment clinic, and then it felt like okay, I think I'm gonna get locked to this treatment for a long time, which I did not want to, because like ये अभी करेंगे फिर बाद में वो ट्रीटमेंट चलता रहेगा. वो दैट गेटिंग लॉक्ड इनटू अ ट्रीटमेंट वाज नॉट समथिंग आई वाज हैप्पी विद. सो दैट वाज द डिसीजन मेकर कि ये नहीं करना है. तो अगर ये नहीं करना है तो दूसरा क्या है, मतलब देन यू हैव टू डील विद इट. हाउ डू यू डील विद इट?
अच्छा, इसमें जब ये ट्रीटमेंट वाली बात होती है, डिड दे शेयर एवर कि यू विल नेवर गेट योर हेयर बैक, it can only delay the process of balding?
No.
मुझे बोला था by the way.
Okay, that's actually pretty nice.
बोला था, that's a nice thing actually. But when they said that, I was like, okay dude, hello, it's a very expensive treatment just to delay something that is eventual. All right, then उस time मैंने choice बना ली थी, ठीक है fine भाई, ये तो नहीं होने वाला, मैं तो गंजा होने वाला हूँ, and I'm going to be a baldy, so not a problem. Probably let's go back in your life, ठीक है ना? You were in the US, आप masters करने गए, and then for the audience, Pravin is टेस्ला का एक बड़ा कॉम्पिटिटर है लूसिड मोटर्स. लूसिड मोटर्स की सुपर सेक्सी गाड़ियाँ, जस्ट चेक, इट्स जस्ट आउटस्टैंडिंग. एंड प्रवीण वाज वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट फ्यू एम्प्लॉईज, फर्स्ट 10 एम्प्लॉईज में थे, राइट?
नहीं, फर्स्ट 10 इंजीनियर्स में था.
फर्स्ट 10 इंजीनियर्स, इंजीनियरिंग जो स्टाफ था उसमें तो प्रवीण ने अपने हाथ से लूसिड मोटर्स का जो सिस्टम्स हैं वो अपने हाथ से कोडिंग किए प्रवीण ने.
मतलब one of the person.
I mean, but definitely you are one of those people, right? So you were on the team. So Lucid Motors जो चलती है उसमें प्रवीण का थोड़ा सा contribution है, right? So Praveen spent a lot of time in the US. Now you tell me, when this was happening and you were in these spaces. I remember you told me that you dated someone in the US who was somewhere older than you. एंड फ्रॉम हियर ना मैं थोड़ा डेटिंग वाले उस पर नेविगेट करना चाहता हूँ कि जब बॉल्डिंग होने लगती है तो हाउ डज इट अफेक्ट अस, राइट? वो तो इनसिक्योरिटी तो आई थी, बट देन ये जो सीन होता है ना कि यू हैव अ पार्टनर, अ रिलेशनशिप एटसेट्रा, और फिर मान लो आप उसमें से निकल गए, ऊपर से आप बॉल्ड हो रहे हो. नाउ टू गेट इनटू अनदर रिलेशनशिप एंड एट द सेम टाइम डीलिंग विद बॉल्डनेस, ये डायनामिक कैसा होता है?
चैलेंजिंग तो होता ही है. आई मीन लाइक यू आर नॉट गोना, you have to accept certain things that someone might not find you attractive, and that's fair because there are enough people who don't find other bald men attractive. That's the fact you have to come to peace with.
मुझे तो लगता है कि बॉल्ड लोग काफ़ी कूल दिख सकते हैं, but the point is कि जब हम हो रहे होते हैं बॉल्ड तब हम खुद को ही नहीं लग रहे होते हैं अट्रैक्टिव, तो दूसरों को क्या लगेगा? तो यहाँ से मुझे बताओ प्रवीण कि do you think कि how you project yourself as a bald person, right? Will that affect a person looking at you positively or not?
It will, but वो unless you go, like the सबसे बड़ा challenging stage होता है ना कि तुम balding, तुम when you go the full buzz, like you start, उसके 6 महीने पहले तुम्हारा how you are feeling, because you're not feeling good. Because first of all you're also afraid कि okay if I buzz it off, whether I'm gonna be able to carry the look or not, and उसमें ना एक there is a permanence, right? You don't want to face that permanence. Say, what if you buzz off your hair and if you're not able to, if you don't like what you see in the mirror, then that's a permanent thing, right? Because once you go bald, like there is no, you cannot do anything much. There is no hairstyle for a bald.
Yeah, there is no hairstyle.
Yeah, so I know. So वो रहता है, it's also a lot of it is not true, right? I mean, like you said, how you project is what you're gonna look like. I mean, if you're gonna give off a cool vibe, and I don't even know what cool vibe means, but if you whatever vibe you give with hair, the same thing you're gonna give without hair. After acceptance.
Describe करना मुश्किल है, but I think a cool vibe दी जा सकती है कि भाई baldness is really cool. मैं तो मानता हूँ.
So I think, but then वो of course, I mean, you can mature and say initially you may not even accept your own baldness, and then eventually something happens and you suddenly feel like, oh, a lot of people are liking me more because I'm bald.
Yeah.
तो वो कहीं पे तो वो vanity factor goes into your confidence or something. For मेरे लिए वैसे नहीं था, मतलब there was a, actually I did not like when I was having thinning hair. तो वो मुझे बड़ा challenge था कि no, I just, and you see a lot of people hanging on to the thinning hair. So when you are an audience to that, and if you are mindful enough to see, okay, what, someone is struggling, and see, it's a, I'm not saying what people should do or not do, but the hanging on to the thinning, and that's where you feel, okay, I don't want to be in this position, I'll just shave it off, and that's what happened with me.
Yeah, people try to salvage, and understandable है कि आप उसको salvage करो, जितना बचा है उतना. तो for example बहुत सारे लोग मैंने देखा है कि ये जो सेक्शन होता है ना, यहाँ से जनरली फोरहेड से और इधर से बाल जल्दी जाते हैं, और ये तो आपका रहता है इंटैक्ट. तो बहुत सारे लोग इसको ओवरग्रो करते हैं ताकि वो थोड़ा सा कवर कर सके. वो सैल्वेज करने की कोशिश होती है, विच इज फाइन, टू ईच इज ओन. बट लुक बड़ा मतलब मेरा पर्सनल व्यू है कि लुक बहुत अमेजिंग लुक नहीं आता. That's
you look older actually.
You look older, right? Absolutely, you look older.
Yeah.
तो and empirically अगर आप देखो तो if you shave it, you actually probably look younger.
True, and if you're trying to outgrow your side hair to cover your bald patches, it starts weighing on you, pun intended. But there is, but you know that it's like trying to do. It's not natural to you. So अपने आप you feel that you're not being natural. You feel like you're trying to cover up for something. It's not a good feeling, and different people feel different things. तो मुझे भी वही था कि if I start salvaging, I might not like it. So I was not comfortable with that. ट्रीटमेंट से कंफर्टेबल नहीं था, सैल्वेजिंग से कंफर्टेबल नहीं था, बचा ऑप्शन यही था।
बचा ऑप्शन यही था।
हाँ।
तो लेकिन अब ये बचा हुआ ऑप्शन है, तो ये हैव वी जस्ट सेटल्ड इनटू दिस एंड बी बिकम कंफर्टेबल, और you have consciously ever tried कि नहीं ठीक है इसको cool बनाऊंगा मैम, you know, and you consciously do a few things to make it more like a feature about yourself?
Not really. I think I settled like जिस दिन मतलब वो हुआ भी ऐसे, I still remember like I just walked into the barber shop, ऐसे कि मैं कर लेता हूँ।
पर आज की डेट में आप सोचते हो कि नहीं कि ये you know ये it's a cool feature about you or not, or about your personality?
ऐसे I don't know if I do really think of it.
As a third person मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि it suits you. बाल होंगे तो भी अच्छे लगोगे शायद, मैंने तो नहीं देखा, because you know I've known you only for some time, but you know you look very cool. For me it is your feature, and at the same time what you're doing is you are working very hard in the gym to look very fit, so that really complements this look.
तो वो था ना कि I was always into fitness, so इसके वजह से ये compensate करने के लिए मैं जिम नहीं जाने लगा, ऐसा नहीं होता। I was always going to the gym. I always had an athletic side to me.
Correct. So it made this acceptance easier, I guess.
Kinda. जो transition period था before you shave off your head or buzz off your hair, like you start reading articles. As much embarrassing as it sounds, like you know you're trying to look कि how to make baldness cool, ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने नहीं पढ़ा। उसमें काफ़ी ये था कि okay, if you're fit and if you're maintaining yourself, then you'll be able to carry baldness better. तो कहीं पे तो वो barrier था ही नहीं मुझे पता था कि ठीक है, I think I have decently athletic body and maybe that should not be the limiting factor. तो वो थोड़ा pressure कम था, but पढ़ा enough था, but change ऐसा कुछ किया नहीं, like I don't think so I changed any of my style or anything. I evolved more into the new look. Evolved is a better word, because I feel कि consciously अगर try करोगे तो तुम शायद से you may veer off from who you are as. Even if style is also who you are, right? I mean, like,
Understood. When we look at Athlos, how much of your personality is reflected in the business you're doing?
I think Athlos is I mean, there are two founders at Athlos, me and Shruti. I think it's a culmination of both of our personas going into it. Some of the founders, like both of us, are also have a pretty minimal aesthetic. We have a more or less the same way of looking at from a design perspective. तो personality तो आती है, gets reflected. It's also at certain point it's not just the founders, the whole rest of the team which follows, वो अपनी personality लेके आते हैं. Then it starts reflecting on the whole start.
It's a very discomforting questions from Pravin, because he's a very nice guy, so he will always bring in ki sari team, etc. Yes, definitely. But since you started, you were the first one to kind of. So it has a very big stamp. I think it has a very big stamp of your personality, right?
Okay.
And it has, because you have always been doing these long distance things, traveling, cycling, etc. Right? I was talking from that point of view.
That definitely, and somewhere it was natural to also be in this domain for a startup or starting a startup in activewear or a sportswear category.
Yeah.
So that's what I was also saying कि this was there even before I started balding, right? Like I was always athletic. I was always doing hikes, running, working out.
ठीक है. तो एक काम करते हैं. Let's understand this कि एक बंदा है जो कि थोड़ा वो salvage वाला look है, let's say.
ठीक है.
वो versus a bald guy who's fit, who can easily ooze, do things and ooze luxury.
If you talk about luxury, I think the one who's accepting, the one who's perhaps the balder guy might be able to pull it off better.
Don't say might, say absolute things. डरने का नहीं है कुछ. मुझे ये लगता है ये होगा.
Yeah, I think the balder guys will be able to project the luxury.
Tell me, why do you think so?
Because कहीं पे तो okay, one way I look at projecting luxury is also you are able to enjoy the luxury.
Correct.
You are able to enjoy luxury when you are fully yourself. You are comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
That's when you can actually carry a luxurious jacket or whatever your definition of luxury is. Like it becomes a part of your persona as long as you are comfortable with who you are as a person.
Right.
If you're trying to look at a person who's trying to salvage his hairstyle by like having a comb over or any of those things, they're thinking of a lot of different things, like how do I cover this up, and so maybe the luxury element occupies only like 60% of their brain, while 40% they're still trying to figure out, or they're still wondering how do I hide those things, or how do I put those things in the background and let the luxury come in the front. It's not. Even if you're carrying luxury, it is still you in the center. The luxury is just a wraparound.
Yeah. For what it is worth, we're not saying, we're not professing anything, but we're just talking baldness because we have both faced it, we have both accepted it, and I definitely enjoy my baldness, right? Because the kind of things I've been able to do and explore, it's very helpful, right? So now I have facial hair. So we will talk about that as well. Tell me.
You also, you are ready out of the shower. That's it.
Yeah, you're ready out of the shower, right? No hair, no hair wash, no what do you call after wash? क्या बोलते हैं उसको? क्या लगाते? Leave-in conditioner.
No hair dryer needed.
No hair dryer needed. कुछ नहीं. तो इसीलिए the bath is also very quick.
Yeah.
Like super quick. So anyway,
the point washes down everything. You're ready. You don't need a towel sometimes. You can just you're ready outside. Yeah.
So tell me, ये bald के साथ beard combination. I mean, does beard do a great trick with it?
I don't grow a full beard because
But you have a stubble always.
I have a stubble always. That's the only thing I can do. So जो है उसी में से.
No, but it definitely adds to your look, man. For me.
Yeah. So I think facial hair, then it depends how your face cut and how you are as a person is. I think it accentuates your face nonetheless. I think I've seen enough people who can also pull off a bald look with absolutely no facial hair. But that's very hard.
That's very hard.
I cannot imagine doing that. I will look like a freak if I do that.
I look like a freak because I have a small face and it's a roundish face. But if you have a chiseled face perhaps and like a well-structured face and jawline and so on and so forth, I think you can, right? There are many people like Rock is a good example. Rock is many times without the beard and he's of course bald. On the other hand,
if you're a Rock, then you can pretty much carry off anything.
But at the same time, even before he became Rock, he was bald, right? So
he looked actually pretty bad. Have you seen him in hair?
In the hair, in his younger days. So this guy, he looks smashing now. Jason Statham.
He has a stubble.
He has a stubble, right? And the stubble looks really cool on him. And और वो बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं करता ऐसा बहुत चिकना करके भी नहीं आता उसके बाल थोड़े दिख रहे थे he is really cool so मेरे को तो बहुत सही लगता है जेसन स्टैथम उसका जो स्टेटमेंट रहता है and of course extremely fit right he can do the flag
if you're a British accent if you're fit if you've been a national swimmer there are a lot of things working for Jason Statham right so if you're talking about everyday
Olympian,
people Olympian so I don't know if it's Olympian but I think it's
Commonwealth में तो किया था उसने
okay so one exception है like let me put it this way right कि a lot of everyday people are not going to be like Jason Statham maybe I'm not comparing myself with even any celebrity who's managed to carry baldness but if you look at the everyday people I consider myself one of them they may not have all those things working for them you still have to make it work so उसमें like what I'm saying is also like I don't want to give people a false hope कि अरे कि तुम बॉल्ड करो एक्सेप्ट करो वो हो जाएगा देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क
कायम है यार कम ऑन थोड़ी तो होप देनी पड़ेगी होप पे दुनिया कायम है
बट देयर इज आल्सो लॉट ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस यू हैव टू डू लाइक द होप इज नॉट लाइक कि तुम करो और तुम्हें हो जाएगा तुम्हें लॉट ऑफ इंटरनल एक्सेप्टेंस लाना पड़ेगा
तो you just said lots of things people can play with तो अगर मैं बोलूं कि there are many levers you can fine tune here and there मान लो एक्सेप्टेंस हो गया उसके बाद क्या लेवर्स कर सकते हैं so that you can really make it a feature बहुत कूल बन सकते हो Fitness,
absolutely.
Facial hair, you can try.
Facial hair, you can try if you can grow.
Then how do you dress up
yourself?
Right. So तीन चीजें होंगी और कोई चौथी चीज है?
The other thing is be yourself because then how you dress up, if you're being yourself and if your style component or all those elements are coming from who you are, then you look better nonetheless.
You look better.
Yeah. See, because if you're trying to be like one hole people may find themselves in is like if I'm gone bald. So I need to do something to make it cooler.
You're right.
But you don't need to do some styling which is not you in first place. Then you will look like it. You won't be able to.
Yeah, that's not something we want to ever talk about and say that there's a deficit. Not being bald is not necessarily a deficit. It's not a deficit. We're not saying that.
So
then ये नहीं करेंगे कुछ अब now अब वो तेरा loss हो गया है तो you do something else to fill for that loss. No. The thing is कि हम बात सिर्फ ये कह रहे हैं कि अच्छा ये है baldness and acceptance of baldness is just the beginning of a new you, perhaps.
It is.
That's the point I'm trying to
yeah.
drive home. And that new you can be supremely confident, very comfortable with himself, and just a different and very positive personality.
Yeah, and find your anchors, right? I mean, like you may say, because I have a fit body, okay, that's what gives me confidence. Or I'm well read, I'm well traveled.
Correct.
That gives me the confidence. So find your anchors and know your anchors.
Correct.
So वो जब आता है तब अपने आप तुम्हारी personality accentuate होती है.
Right.
Maybe it adds to the baldness, adding to the personality as well.
अच्छा, ये जो bald लोग होते हैं, bald जनता, उनकी unique needs क्या हो सकती हैं? What could be your unique needs? It's a tough question.
Is it a material need or is it like a societal need you're talking about?
Whatever it is.
I'll tell you societal need. Like this is again maybe trying to over intellectualize.
No,
I think I would like to see an era where balding is normalized. No one talks about it.
No one talks about it. Yeah.
Like you don't.
So we are talking about it. Let's
I'm saying. Maybe we are starting the normalization. कि like काफी टाइम ऐसा होता है कि Indian families में ना कि okay you're balding, तुम्हारी शादी हो गई कि नहीं, ये सब होते हैं. Maybe that take away those components. Like if a person is balding, he's not subjected to any questions.
Yeah.
That would be a great societal factor which may come because they're not taking the pressure of balding. You can accept it much easier. Normalize it.
Right. The way aging is normal. It's a natural process.
Natural.
Balding is natural. ये नहीं है कि balding हो गई, तू गंजा हो रहा है, अबे वो होना ही है. You are going to be bald.
Yeah.
Most of the people are going to bald, right? They're like my father, he's 80, but he's got a very clear hairline. पूरे बाल हैं, thin हो गए हैं, but सर के पूरे बाल हैं. लेकिन सर मतलब sir as father, sir. सर के सर पे पूरे बाल हैं. But on my mother's side, baldness was a very clear thing.
Yeah.
So baldness set in for me at the age of 25.
Okay. Early.
काफी early था. मतलब मैं सो के उठता था.
तब तो maturity भी नहीं आती. You cannot even drink in Delhi if you're 25. Or maybe you can. Yeah.
So anyway, point is कि ये सारी चीजें. So it's a great point कि why don't we talk about baldness as a very natural thing. तो होना ही है. Like तुम बच्चे पैदा हुए थे, बड़े हुए, तुम बड़े हो गए, होना ही है. You'll find a girlfriend, होना ही है.
Yeah.
And baldness, सर के बाल हैं, जाने ही है school.
You're gonna age, like you said, like aging is natural. Balding is natural.
Yeah.
It may be natural for certain things. Maybe some people will have, like Mr. Tomar has, Sir Tomar has a head full of hair at 80. Yeah. But normalize में the other part is that कि वो pressure निकल जाएगा कि now I have to do something extra to look good. I mean, you're looking good. Yeah.
You're looking great.
You're looking great. Yeah.
I think
you're a good person.
Yeah, looking great comes with that confidence. The acceptance makes you look good.
Yeah.
अगर तुम वैसे sullen face लेके घूम रहे हो, मैं गंजा हो गया, ये हो गया, ऐसे करके, तो फिर तो कहीं अच्छे लगोगे. Interesting.
I feel
what message will you give to women to say कि भाई let's look at women's perspective. What do you think could be a woman's perspective towards a bald? So here's the thing, hypothetical, like a very successful guy, bald, 30 something, 32, whatever it is, and do versus another successful guy with hair. This guy also looks good. The body also looks great. Do you think women will prefer the guy with hair?
No, it's very personal, and this is again speaking from.
No, it's personal. I'm just saying,
Personal
broadly.
to the woman.
Yeah.
Personal to the woman.
I know, but what I'm saying is, ज़्यादातर cases में क्या होगा?
I think ज़्यादातर cases में वो the head full of hair वाले को choose करेंगे. But there are very set. It supersedes, like they are attracted to bald people more than the non-bald people, and वो भी है, and that's what I'm saying कि वो number है ना, वो शायद से equal है.
तो मैं एक चीज कहना चाहता हूँ, एक मैसेज देना चाहता हूँ. ऐसे ही, it's a very simple message. Women, please, अगर दो ऐसे लोग हैं, and the person who is really cool and has accepted baldness already, and he's great, he's at par with the other guy. Go for that guy because he's already accepted baldness. दूसरे वाले को challenge हो सकता है 10 साल में आगे जा करके.
Or go for the guy who's good for you.
Whatever it is.
You can be a bald person and be an asshole, and you can be a head full of hair and
nice
exactly.
Exactly.
But again, besides the point, it does come down to personal preference.
Yeah.
And maybe there is no model established for it. Like some guys and girls I know who would never go for a bald guy at all, no matter how attractive. They might find them attractive.
Yeah.
They would just
But
not.
they will
go
not
for it.
marry.
Or date as well.
Or date as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely not.
Amazing.
Nothing to do. Yeah.
That's
And somewhere you have to be okay with that.
Yeah, you have to be okay with it. Absolutely.
Nothing personal.
And I think, see, when you are a very confident person, this does not affect you. Even someone's preference or rejection or anything, none of that affects you. That's why you're
थोड़ा
confident.
affect करता है if you like the person or other person. Yeah. हाँ, but it does affect
Momentarily,
you. हाँ,
yeah.
momentarily, but don't make it a baseline emotion for you.
Correct.
Yeah. Like don't take it personally.
Yeah, don't. That's what I'm saying. So that's God level confidence, yaar. कि don't take it personally. Super. I walk away. Fine. Yeah, I'm too cool. I'm too cool.
थोड़े टाइम के लिए होता है.
Okay, cool.
अभी कोई मेरे पे सर पे गन नहीं है बोलने के लिए कि ले बढ़िया. थोड़े टाइम के लिए बुरा लगता है.
थोड़ा टाइम के लिए लगता है.
But yeah, that's the thing कि there might be some people who would not want to date you. But this is true even for a person with a head full of hair. There might be someone who might just not have that thing.
So then you can tie that emotion to just rejection.
Yeah.
Why just rejection because of baldness, right?
Yeah, it's a rejection as a person. Nothing to do with baldness or something. Yeah.
Right. Super. So tell me, what should people do now? थोड़ी देर पहले we were talking about you run so much, you do cycling, etc. You were talking about the sunscreen. सर को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए ज़रूरत होती है, कुछ करना चाहिए?
I think if you're spending time outdoors, I think the sunscreen element is crucial. It's crucial because then it's not fun having a sunburn.
What are the problems we deal with?
Huh?
What are the typical problems we deal with? Let me start as a baldy.
Yeah.
I was in Dubai, and I've still not gotten used to wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Right? जो Brits hat पहनते हैं, अब मुझे लग रहा है भाई hat लेनी पड़ेगी. I was in Dubai, very strong sun, and boss ये तो लगा लिया, चश्मे पहन लिया, सब कुछ कर लिया, and but your head is completely exposed.
Yeah.
ये sun. And ऊपर से फिर वो sub-zero temperature चले जाओ, the wind hits your head, so you gotta protect it. Exposed है.
Yeah.
लोगों को नहीं समझ में आएगा. Many times I get migraines because of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So these are some of the situations I've faced. What about you?
I faced like sun. Sun काफी face किया है, तो if I'm out in the sun, I know कि it's gonna be intense sun for a few hours. Hike पे हो या run पे हो, whatever. I don't know other reasons why people find themselves in the sun for 2-3 hours, but whatever the reason could be. But वहाँ पे then I'll switch to like a cap or hat. But if I'm spending a day at a open air wedding or like a function, I actually don't know what I would do because I cannot.
All right. So Praveen, we were talking about baldness, और इसमें ना I wanted to explore this idea of role models.
Okay.
कि हम acceptance की बात कर रहे हैं. Do you think कि acceptance आसान हो जाएगा for a lot of people अगर role models भी मिले तो?
Role models मिले तो definitely. Someone who's able to carry it without making like an overarching part of their personality. I think that will be a right role model.
तो dude, mostly हमारे इंडिया में तो जितने celebrities हैं, they are the real role models for most of the people.
Sure.
अब उसमें से एक भी गंजा नहीं है. Like शाहरुख जो है, I'm a fan of Shahrukh Khan. And
I mean, everyone is. So
everyone is like the biggest charmer ever.
Yeah.
Shahrukh is in his late 50s, I think, but he's got this thick hair, and all of us know कि वो thick hair है कैसे, weaving है, टोपे हो या जो भी हो, but that's not real, right?
I wouldn't know. Huh?
I'm saying that's not real. But for a lot of celebrities, they have thick hair, but that's not the reality. So people probably think कि 60s में 50s में भी जाकर के वैसा thick hair होना चाहिए. But I think we need to tell people that look, that's unreal. टोपे लगा लो, weaving करा लो, तो तुम्हारा भी हो जाएगा. But ultimately वो natural नहीं है. That's something I wanted to kind of touch upon.
Yeah, and maybe one way to do it is to normalize bald people existing even in the movies. आप बॉलीवुड में देखो, either caricature बनाते हैं या तो villain बनाते हैं.
हाँ.
या तो फिर वो तो even in Hollywood I think so to a certain like बनाते हैं तो directly he's so cool because he's bald or he's a caricature.
Normal नहीं दिखाते.
अब in fact it's the equivalent of desi people in Hollywood. They are either made like comical things or they are shown as a very stereotypical desi working in IT job. There is no in between normal
There's no
person.
in-between.
There's no in between Indian person shown in Hollywood ever.
Right. जबकि मैक्सिमम जनता बॉल्डिंग तो होती है.
होती है मतलब हाँ again putting like कि make a movie, cast a bald person in a romantic movie and don't make a big deal that he is a bald. Like don't even try to bring कि he is accepted is bald.
अच्छा,
Just show it as a
एक बात
normal
पूछो,
person.
अगर फिल्म बनाई उसमें हीरो बॉल्ड दिखाया, सच में बॉल्ड ले लिया, उसे वीविंग नहीं कराई है, बट लोग जेसन स्टैथम तो चलता ही है ना बॉल्ड, उसकी सारी फिल्में हिट होती हैं, एक्शन मूवीज होती हैं, लेकिन यू नो रॉक उसकी मूवीज चलती है. तुम्हें लगता है इंडिया में अगर बॉल्ड हीरो दिखाएं कोई है इंडिया में बॉल्ड हीरो? कोई नहीं, कोई एक्टर नहीं.
I think what you said कि सब बॉल्ड है पर ऊपर से कुछ तो लगा रहे हैं ना.
वो तो लगा of course. Akshay Khanna, Akshay Khanna, like huge respect for him. He embraces it like anything, and then he's very fit and lean. He's the only person. बाकी तो फिर दूसरे कैरेक्टर्स हैं जो फिर पापा बनते हैं, उनको कोई ना, लेकिन एक एक्टर, एक हीरो दिखाना, वो इंडिया में कब आएगा? कैसे किया जा सकता है उस चीज को?
I think someone will just do it, but that's a part of the normalization is just bring them into mainstream and without making a big deal of them.
But उसकी वो फिल्में चलेंगी? लोगों को तो हीरो चाहिए होता है ना?
स्टार्ट में नहीं चलेगी, मतलब कोई बॉल्डिंग पे पॉडकास्ट पहले भी तो नहीं बना रहा था, अभी बना रहे हैं तो मूवीज में भी आ जाएंगे. So I think थोड़ा normalize तो हो जाएगा.
Right.
Like just don't even give an interview that this guy, the hero is bald. Just like okay, he happens to be bald, but he happens to be a good actor. So that could be the thing, right? I would love to see that. I think that would be a part of the normalization, and this applies for balding for both men and women. I mean, it's just balding in general.
Yeah. Super. Any message from you for the people who are balding and looking for something, some inspiration to either accept it or whatever, to find their confidence or whatever it is? Any message?
Just know that you'll be okay either ways.
Yeah.
And you'll end up accepting. Like just know that you'll be okay if you're going bald, if you're in the middle of going bald, or if you're already bald. If you know you're gonna be okay, then acceptance aa jayega. Maybe that's the simple thing I would like to say.
Cool, good. That's great. I mean, look, I had a great chat on this subject.
I would love to hear what you want to say to the bald people because.
Okay. No, I really want to say.
I'll play the host for a while. Yeah.
Okay, sure. नहीं तो मैं तो ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि बॉल्ड अगर हो रहे हो तो हिट तो करेगा पहले, बट द सूनर यू एक्सेप्ट इट द मच कूलर यू विल बिकम, बिकॉज इट्स अ जर्नी. तो एक्सेप्ट करने पे पूरी फाइट मारो. Concentrate like full energy on accepting. Find ways how to accept it. The moment you climb up that hill, वहाँ से life is really rosy. It's really cool. मैं तो इस चीज से बहुत ये derive करता हूँ. मेरी personality change हो गई है उसकी वजह से.
Yeah. You were also pushed into bowling way earlier than most people have developed, and this is also an age where I don't think so anyone ever believes that they are good looking to start with at no age. But then if you are doing it in the early 20s where maybe, I mean, I don't know about you, but I was not half as matured at 25. So if I was handed balding at 25, I don't know how I would have accepted it. Yeah. So a lot of people, get balding in their 20s. So वो situation. So acceptance and making it a cool feature. ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. That's the message I want to give. हो रही है? Okay, fine. Let's play with it. मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ इसके साथ? It's such a cool thing, right? I mean, yeah.
That's how I look at it.
I think the acceptance does come before, and then this is So.
मैं शॉक एंड ऑक में बिलीव करता हूँ. शॉक कर दो अपने आप को बीच के जर्नी नहीं कि नहीं ये बहुत रो करके मैं एक्सेप्ट कर रहा हूँ. ओके फाइन, ये हो रहा है. ओके फाइन, लेट्स सी व्हाट आई कैन डू.
दैट्स एक्चुअली अ गुड वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट इट बिकॉज़ एवरी फ्यू मंथ्स जस्ट शॉक योरसेल्फ एंड देन
लिंगर क्या करने का है. ओके ये हो रहा है, कूल, लेट्स कट द हेयर. एक दिन मैं ऐसे ही किया था. मैं आई यूज्ड टू डेट समवन बैक इन 2008. ये उस टाइम चल रहा था बहुत बॉल्डिंग का. तो मैं एक शाम को गया और बाल एकदम ये करवा के आ गया, इतने छोटे छोटे. शी सेड नेवर डू दैट अगेन, राइट? एंड आई वाज लाइक कि ऐसा क्या हो गया. बट सी द थिंग इज, बट दैट वाज फर्स्ट टाइम. उसके बाद से ये शुरू हो गया था. आई डोंट केयर कौन क्या कह रहा है क्या नहीं कह रहा है.
एक बार बस कर दिया तो वापस नहीं जा सकते बिकॉज़ देन
अरे बहुत काट दिया, अरे दोबारा नहीं होगा. ठीक है, नहीं हुई, डजंट मैटर. दाढ़ी उग जाएगी ना, ठीक है.
इनफैक्ट जो है ना कि एक बार तुमने बस किया ना, इट स्टार्ट्स फीलिंग फ्री.
विल
समवेयर इफ यू लेट इट कम टू यू विल स्टार्ट एंजॉयिंग द फ्री थिंग यू फील ऑन योर हेड.
Absolutely. So that's what I want to say to the audience. If it reaches any women I really request you, please post, comment in the comments. आप बताओ, what do you think about the baldness in men? How do you treat it? Just write it. Just say that, you know, you guys are bullshit or whatever, or appreciate us, or say something. Because I really want to understand, how do women look at it? I know how my wife appreciates it. She loves the fact that I'm very confident about it. But I want to, you know, really ask the women in India, how do you see bald men? बताओ, लाइफ बहुत आसान हो जाएगी, बहुत सारे लोग who are balding. Thank you.
You can also comment through your eyes. That's how you see bald men. But it's a bad joke.
PJ.
Okay.
Cool.
So, yeah. All right.
Super. All right.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, man. Great chat.